Hello everyone from sunny Germany. So today we're going to talk a little bit about enum types, and I've just done out some examples to show you all together. So an enum type is basically a list of reference types, so like classes. Enum types are also reference types, so you can call them and from other places. However, they're kind of like similar to an array list because you can iterate through them with an enhanced for statement as well. And the way they're laid out in terms of a list, let me just show you all together. So here we have an abbreviation, JHTP, so Java how to program. So this is a string, takes in another string here. Man search for meaning, string and another one, and here as a man thinketh, and I know why the caged bird sings. So and the year. So here we have private, final. So the enums are implicitly final and they're implicitly static as well. And so we have our constructor of our enum book. So if I was to create an enum in Eclipse, we need to go to new and then enum. So it's a different, it's creating a separate file just for the enum type. So here we have our constructor book. So every time that we call book, enum book, then obviously we call the constructor book. For the enum type, so we have our two strings, and the same as always when we call a constructor with two variables that are going to go into it, we have to then make sure that whatever it's called is equal to the private here if we're using privates, which they are final in this case. So we have public string, then get title and get published year. So we have two accessor methods, because in the previous video we spoke a bit about getter and setter methods, and these are actually called setters are mutator methods and getter methods are accessor methods. So let's get the lingo right for the language. So now we have our enum set class. So we have our enum test first, and let me just show you that it's importing here. It's importing one of the Java API enum set. So what you can do is, which is really nice, if I just close the Project Explorer so you can see it better. So we have here our entry point to the program, which is our main. We print out a new line, we have our enhanced for statement, and we iterate through it the same as we do an array list. So, but with this, we have already methods that are part of an enum type. So if I have book here and then just press dot, then we get these methods that are already inbuilt within the enum class, set class. So we have value of or values, and in this case we want values, and we just print out then the book, get title and published title. Now we do not create a new object for an enum type. We get a compiler error if that was the case, so because we're not creating a new object for it, so we're not using the new keyword. So we have here our for and then book. You can see here it's type, reference type book. We're calling it book in this class, and then we're going to call what's called an enum set and a range. So our range then, it prints out a range between the Java how to program book and the man search for meaning. So if I was to print this out at the moment, it all works fine. So you can see here, all books is my first print line statement. Here's the existing list, and then here is our printing out off of our range. So here, what's kind of important to note is we have our book here is our enum type, and it accesses directly the list by accessing here the Java how to program. Now, if I was to say use mansearch for meaning as the second parameter, or let's say the cage bird sings, let's put that in here and run it again. And you can see then it shows you all of the list. If I use this one here, it just prints out the short amount. So if you were to use incorrect syntax here for this implicit calling of, or this calling of this method within Enum Set, you can actually, if you come up with an error or anything, you can go to the Enum Set class within this java.util enum set here, and it will show you everything within the Java built-in development kit. So here you can see here it says library, Java, Java virtual machines, Java development kit is JDK, it's JDK 12 content, and where it is, it's in the jar file. And then it shows you what's inbuilt, so what the other people have already made. And then it gives you an explanation here. So we have our placeholders, which is the same similar placeholders that we saw for array lists as well. So we have the class of the perimeter elements and of the set. So we have a perimeter, throw exception, and return. So here, if we use the enum set range, which we did, it has to go from from to E2, and then if from dot compare to, and we'll know what this means later on, but at the moment we've already done the throw illegal argument exception already through our code, so we should be able to read that fine. So it's pretty straightforward. It's similar to what we've covered before. We have our, instead of creating a new class, we're creating a new enum type. We're calling it book with a capital B, and then we have our enum list. We listed the similar way with a comma separated list, a similar way to an iterator list for if you're creating an array. Instead of using the new keyword, you create an iterator list. And then we have our private final string title, private final string published year, and then we have our constructor string title string year published, and we let whatever is called in book then the title equal to the private here, and that then then we can use the get title, and it returns the title based on the enum for the book. So the title here, which is actually this. So when we go to the enum test, then we can see here that for book values, and it prints out the string, which is the string placeholder here, book, and then get title and get published year, and the same here, get title, get published year. But this is our range, which is important thing here with Enum Set, which is part of the java.util class. So which we've just imported. So it'll automatically import it if you just write Enum Set, it'll automatically import it in Eclipse. So just to make sure everything is clear, if I was to put in, let's say, a separate thing here for see how to program. Let's say see how to program. And then, for instance, I didn't put in a year afterwards. Let's see what happens. Proceed, it's going to cause errors. So we have an error here, exception. The method values is undefined. You can see here it's an unresolved compilation error. It tells you what line it's on. It's trying to get values, but it's not getting the values. We can create a method called values in type book, and that's the one quick fix we can do, or we can go back here and then investigate it a bit more and see what we can do. Here we have our year to put in, let's say 2002, because it's expecting 2 strings, which is our constructor down here when we call it. Okay, so here if I was to put in the wrong type, just a year, for instance, then we're also going to have other errors that come up as well. This is going to be an unresolved compilation error. Again, same line, because it's trying to get the values in book, so it's trying to pull the constructor. It's saying, oh, every time I want to use this, it's not going to work. So it's important to know that you don't use the new keyword within this. And that's it for enum types for today. In the next video, we're going to talk a little bit about garbage collection, big decimal, and let me see, there's probably more final instance variables and package access as well. And then we're going to move on to more deeper topics for inheritance and polymorphism and interfaces and things like that. So, okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, give it a like. Also comment on it. I want to get your feedback. Or send an email to learncomputerswithali@gmail.com. And thanks for watching. Happy Saturday.